All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are ready because we are about to go for some interesting ride with this topic. Okay, so my advice is this: please make sure to watch the videos, take a lot of notes down. I do recommend that you pause the video a few times, rewatch this video. We'll be going over some very important concepts that will help you out a lot, okay? This topic could be fairly big, so I may split this topic up in 2 to 4 videos. So let's continue. Handling Windows. Handling Windows with Selenium with Java involves interacting with multiple browser windows or tabs during automated web testing. To handle Windows effectively, you can either use the get window handle or get window handles methods. Okay. Now to switch to a window, you'll have to use the driver.switch_to.window method and pass the handle as an argument. Okay, the handle is a string. We'll talk about this in just a moment. Now, before we start getting into all the code and all the drama show, let's just take some notes down here. Just understand that the get window handle method returns a string, and the get window handles method returns a set of strings. Okay, so now we're bringing in the set interface here, which is part of the Java collection framework. It is a data structure that basically does not allow or does not store duplicates. Okay, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. All right, so what is a window? Let's go back to the practice page here. Okay, so when you're talking to friends or colleagues and you're using like a website, you may not use the word window. Instead, you'll use the term tab. Okay, for example, like, hey, switch to this tab or go to this tab or so on. Now, you may use Windows, that's fine. But for most users, at least for most of my conversations with colleagues, we always use the word tab. Okay, so here I have this button here that clicks that says open tab. You probably will encounter some scenarios with your testing where you click on a button and a new tab opens like this. Okay, you see that a new tab opened when I clicked on it. We're in the same browser session here. Okay, but this tab is actually considered a window. Okay, so that's something new. Okay, so if we automate a script that comes to this window or tab and clicks on, let's say, one of these options here, for example, the courses link, we actually have to tell Selenium to switch to this window or this tab. If not, it will still be on this tab here. Okay, so we need to implement that step. Okay, we actually have to help Selenium and tell Selenium exactly what we want it to do. Okay, so it's not like we can just come here with Selenium, click on a tab, and then that's it. We actually have to switch to the window. So let's go to VS Code and talk about how to do this. Okay, so I created a class called tabs.java. Okay, inside the main method, I have code here that we've been using the previous classes here. And I'll come back and discuss lines 25 and 26. So what I'm doing here, let me actually comment this out so we can go in order here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is on line 30 or 28 and 30, I'm basically assigning the web element or the locator to open tab button of type web element. I'm using ID, the ID locator. It's just very simple. There were no issues there. And all I'm doing here is I'm clicking on that open tab button. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and comment this out, and let's go ahead and run our program to make sure this works. Okay, so again, we're just expecting Selenium to click on open tab right there. Okay, so you saw that right now, and you saw that, or you see that we are in this tab or this window. Okay, but that does not mean that Selenium has control of this window or is on this window. We actually have to tell Selenium to switch to this window or this tab. So how do we do that? Now, there are different ways you can do this. Some very tricky, complicated ways. I'm going to show you the most effective way, at least in my opinion, to do this. Okay, and that's right here, line 32, 33, 34, 35. Let me go ahead and uncomment this out. So on line 32, let me just briefly discuss what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm using the get window handles method. Okay, the get window handles method returns a set of strings, which is why I assigned this statement here to variable all windows of a set of strings, because this method returns a set of strings. And here what I'm doing is I'm using a for each loop, okay, to switch to the next window. Okay, so what's going to happen is Selenium is going to grab the handle of a window, okay, and then once it gets a handle of all windows, again, this for each loop, if you remember, we talked about it a few times already. The for each loops start from the beginning of a data structure and go all the way to the end. Okay, so just remember that. In this case, I'm just opening one tab, and in most cases, that's what you would be doing with your testing. Now, could you be in the situation where you have to, for example, come back here, click on open tab, then go back to the main page, and then open a tab again, and then go back to the main page, open a tab again? Yes, but these applications or these type of scenarios are very rare. I'll show you how to do it anyway, but they're very rare because at this point, if you want the user to go back to the main page, open tab, go back to the main page, open tab again, then you're not really developing a user-friendly application, okay? But I'll still show you and discuss how we can do this. Now let me close these tabs, okay? So let's come back here. So basically, Selenium will get the handles of all windows that have been opened by Selenium, okay? And then all we're doing is we want to switch to the next window, okay? And first of all, let's actually stop right here and let's discuss what handles are, okay? So let me go ahead and comment this out. Actually, let me go ahead and change the course of this video, and let me go back to lines 25 and 26, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and comment this out. All right, so what I'm doing here, okay, is I'm using the get window handle method without the s, which returns a string, which is why I assigned it to a variable called main window handle of type string, okay? And all I'm doing is I'm printing out the window handle, okay? I want to show you something interesting here. Yeah, let me go ahead and uncomment this out right here. We don't need this for now. We don't want to click on that button. All I'm doing here is once Selenium is navigating to this page, the browser opens, I want to get the handle of the main window. Okay, so of this window here, and the handle is the name of the window. Okay, so yes, the windows or tabs, they actually have names or handles. So let's go ahead and run this and see how this looks. Okay, so the browser opens and it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this, and you see what we get here. We get this combination of some characters and numbers here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, go back to Sublime here, and I'm gonna paste this right here, okay? So this is pretty interesting. We haven't seen this before. This is the actual name or handle of this window, okay? It's a combination of some random characters and letters, but I want to show you something interesting. I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna run this again, okay? Same thing. So the question is the name or handle the same every time we open a new window? Yes or no? Let's find out. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this now, and now we have this combination of characters and numbers. Let me come here and paste it, and there is your answer. So you see that for both executions, we printed the name or the handle of these windows or the main window, but in both occasions they were different. Let's go ahead and run it again just to make sure that that we don't get the same combination. Okay, so that ran one time, and there it is. I can already see that it is completely different. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, every single time you open a window for the first time, okay, or a fresh window or fresh tab, that window or tab has a unique name, or also known as handle. Okay, this name or handle only changes when you open a fresh new window, okay, or a fresh new tab. Okay, so if you saw what we're doing with our Selenium test, every single time we're opening a new window all the time. So that's why we are getting different name names or handles of these windows. So this is what handles are. These are the handles or names of windows. But here's the thing, right? Let me go ahead and comment this out since we discussed this briefly. Okay, let me come back here where we're clicking on, let me uncomment this here since we're going to click on that, and then we're back here, okay, on lines 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, so get window handles. Why set of strings? So as we discussed, a set, okay, will not or does not store duplicates. So even though the name or handles are always going to be unique, designing this to return a set of strings enforces that idea, right? That rule that every single window has its own or a unique name, okay, or handle, okay. So when Selenium retrieves all the handles of all windows opened by Selenium, we're assigning it to a set of strings. This will make sure that none of the windows are the same, because then in that case we could be switching to the wrong window. Okay, so this is why get window handles returns a set of strings. But here what I'm doing on line 34 is I'm doing the driver dot switch to window next window. Okay, so again, Selenium or Java will get the very first element of the data structure and assign it to this single type here, and that's what we're doing. We want to switch to that window. So to continue this, to show you how it works, let me go ahead and comment this out here. Okay, lines 38 and 39. So what I'm doing is actually when we switch to the next window, when we go to the next tab right here, I want to click on this courses link here, okay, and then I want to see this page here. All right, so let me come back here, and that's what this code is doing. Okay, so let's look at it again. We're clicking on the open tab button, okay, then we're switching to the next window, right? And then once we're in the next window, we're clicking on the courses link. Let's see if this works as we expect it to. Okay, so we're running the program, the browser opens, okay, a new tab opens, and you saw it clicked on the courses link really quick. Okay, so this worked as expected. To prove that we actually do need to switch to the next window, I'm going to comment this out, 32 to 35, okay? And again, we're clicking on open tab button. So the tab will open, and I'm not going to switch to the window, but I want to do something on the new tab or on the new window. Let's see if it works, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and run this. So the browser opens, the new tab opens, and we can go ahead and end the test here. And you see, we get an exception, okay? And we get a no such element exception, unable to locate element, and it just can't find it because it's not there. It doesn't exist because we didn't switch to the window. So this is evidence that if we want to interact with an element in a new tab or window, we have to switch to it first. Okay, so go ahead and write this code out, and in the next video we'll proceed talking about handling windows.